Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of the BowhuntingAZ Podcast.
Today's episode is going to use multiple perspectives to paint a larger picture as to why we hunt.
For some of us, it's as simple as getting outside and escaping the day-to-day reality of life.
For others, it has a much deeper meaning than just our simple love for the outdoors.
It's a deep-seated tradition that's been handed down to us.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Mitch.
And this is our story. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 3 of the BowhuntingAZ Podcast. Today we're going to talk about our why, specifically why we hunt. First, I'd like to introduce to you my friend Mitch. He's going to be a co-host here on the BowhuntingAZ Podcast. And Mitch is my best friend, my hunting partner.
Don't work too hard with that one, all right?
My kid's godfather. He himself is a father. His son will often come out and shoot with us.
Yep, you guys will be seeing him, I'm sure.
Yeah, Cooper. And Mitch is also a veteran. He's done a full tour in Afghanistan, a quick stint over in Iraq. He's an IED survivor, multiple combat missions. So we definitely want to welcome him to the podcast. He's going to add lots of value. We're really excited to have him here with us.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, be a part of it. The reason why I'm telling you this, as far as his veteran and his missions and everything that he did, is this all transitions into hunting. Him and I had been talking over the last week as to, I had let him know the show topic, basically, as to why we hunt. And I was telling him to kind of prepare himself and to get ready to explain why he hunts and everything like that. So Mitch, why do you hunt?
Well, my biggest reason for hunting, and I didn't even know this when I started, I initially began hunting just because, it was, I've always wanted to really get into it.
Yeah.
But the reason that I've now continued to pursue it and continued to really give the best I can as far as hunting goes, or really anything, is because hunting and being out there and being in that heightened state of awareness, you're really paying attention to what's going on around you. You're listening for every twig snap. You're listening for every bleat, every bugle, anything.
Yep.
It's very reminiscent of a patrol overseas. And it's not a joke when people say, oh, I miss combat. It's real. I mean, if you've ever been there, you definitely get to a point in your life where you're going, okay, I'm going to my 9 to 5 every day. I'm working, and I don't have that excitement anymore. And I found myself really starting to think, okay, I need to get back into the Army.
Yeah.
It got so bad to the point where I said, I need to go start talking to recruiters. I need to go and try to do whatever I can, because I got to get back over there. I'm sick of this mundane, everyday, stuff going on.
Right.
And I came over here that one night. I believe it was for your birthday party.
Yep.
And we pulled your bow out. And, I'd shot a bow. Last time I shot a bow was maybe when I was 10.
Okay.
And it wasn't even a real, it was just a stick with a string, basically.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Like what we got for the kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I took one look at your bow, and I said, okay, how am I going to go about getting my hands on one of these? Because this thing's cool.
Yeah.
And so after that, I was very fortunate that a coworker of mine just so happened to have one that he was looking to sell. I bought it off of him. I'm shooting a Matthews right now.
That's okay. We accept all brands.
Yeah. But it's a great bow. It's a solo cam. It's an older model, but it certainly gets the job done.
Yeah.
And after that, man, everything just kind of fell into place. Like I said, I was having those thoughts about I got to get back in, got to talk to a recruiter, even if it's the Guard. I'm going to sign up for the National Guard, and I'm going to volunteer to go straight for the next deployment. But I got out there on that first deer hunt, and I didn't feel that need anymore. I said, okay, whatever missing part of me that I felt during that period of time was instantly filled by just being out there, stalking a deer, looking for him, and it all just kind of fell into place after that. So after a very long-winded explanation, I hunt because it helps me, one, cope with just civilian life in general, and two, I don't know if it's a symptom of PTSD or not, but it really is, it's very therapeutic to be out there and just, I got to think about anything. The only thing you're thinking about is, when am I going to see my buck? And don't blow your shot when you get it. So,
absolutely. So yeah, you kind of covered there how you got started. That was that night when you came over for the UFC fight and birthday and all that. I'm trying to think. That time you were out there with the deer, that was with me, right? That was your first time. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome, and that's such an accomplishment to be able to overcome things like that, to be able to transition into that sort of, I guess, personal like therapy, if you want to call it, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely worse ways for someone to self-medicate.
Sure. And by the time when you had come back and you were thinking about going back to the recruiter, you had already had a family and everything, right? Okay. So in between then, you had kids. Was it just Cooper, or was JoJo, your daughter, there already?
Parker was born shortly after I got out.
Okay. So you had, been married, kids. That would have been a really hard thing, although I'm sure they would have, pulled through, but that would have been a hard thing for you to go in and leave.
Yeah. It was definitely a very serious conversation that I had with my wife, Kimberly. I mean, you know her, but to you guys, my wife. And essentially what it was I sat her down and I said, look, I don't know what's going on with me. I don't know why I feel this way. And this was, I mean, I had this conversation with her days before I came over for that UFC fight. I mean, it was all bang, bang, bang.
I didn't know that.
No, yeah, it was boom, 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 everything just
dropping some knowledge bombs here on
and so basically what happened was I talked to my wife and I said, I don't know why I feel this way. I'm starting to feel like there's, not to get all metaphorical, but I feel like there's a hole somewhere in there, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was obsessing over, stupid YouTube videos of helmet cam, combat footage, and things like that. I just could not get enough of watching that stuff, and I was like, I got to get back over there. And I told her, I said, would you support my decision to go back into the service and sign up for a deployment? She said, well, her answer basically was, well, I can't tell you no. She goes, we'll still be here when you get back, of course. And she said, but that's more of a conversation for you to have with your son. And I said, okay, I'll talk to Cooper. So I pulled my son aside, who is 6, and I told him, I said, buddy, would you be okay if Daddy went away and went to go fight bad guys again for probably about a year? Would you be okay with Mommy and everybody else? And his answer is what really kind of shook me up and made me think, okay, I have to find another outlet for this. He looked me dead in the eyes and he said, Daddy, I don't want you to go. And I said, well, okay, why? And he goes, because what if you die? Then you won't be my dad anymore. And that was hard to hear from a 6-year-old, that he knew the reality of the situation, because I certainly sugarcoat things when I talk to him about my experiences overseas and everything. But he's not a dumb kid. He knows guns can kill you, and he knows the bad guys are using guns same way I'm using guns. And so he just kind of put 2 and 2 together. He said, what if you die? You won't be my dad anymore. And at that point, I said, okay, no to that, but I got to find something. And a few days later, came over, saw that bow, and said, okay, I'm going to give this a shot.
And your MOS was infantry, too, so it wasn't like you were just going to go over there and be like supply line or something. You were there at the front of everything, so there was definitely a reality there. And it's cool now because not only does Cooper have his father, but he has a new I guess, hobby or a new lifestyle to share with his father.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, he is avid in archery.
Oh, yeah, he loves
Obviously, by the holes in the side of your shed.
Yeah, I've got a very holy shed.
By the amount of holes in the side of your shed out in your backyard, he is obviously shooting that bow day in and day out.
Yep. Oh, yeah, there's very rarely a day where I work grave shift right now. And so, I wake up mid-afternoon, roughly. Very seldom do I wake up and I don't hear him in the backyard, probably shooting the shed.
Yeah.
But, I definitely wake up almost every day and he's out there practicing. At some point, he will get some reps in.
Dude, that's so awesome.
Yep.
I think that'll be a great thing for him, too, as he's growing up, that he'll have something to stick to and learn discipline.
Exactly.
And, I mean, that's going to be a great thing as well.
Absolutely.
And I look forward to getting him out there.
Oh, I can't wait, man.
I can't wait to get him out there.
Wait.
He's going to love it. I can tell already.
And to everybody out there watching right now, my son probably adores Steven more than he does me. So, but I'm dad. I yell at him all the time. So, no, it's great, man. I'm extremely excited to get him out on his first hunt for sure. But it's just, like you said, it's great discipline in and of itself. There's a lot to archery that people who've never done it or don't do it, stuff that I had no idea before I started. It's not easy to get that good shot off.
It's not.
Anything past 20 yards and your wrist flicks to the left and all of a sudden you're 3 inches left and you're sitting there, what did I do wrong? Well, what you did wrong was you barely moved your wrist. And
Yep. And even if it's somebody that's, if you're against hunting or, if you're just not sure that you can take an animal's life or anything like that, even just to pick up archery just as a discipline, as a therapy, just to be out there and just taking your time, learning to control your breathing, learning to control your posture. I mean, I guess you could maybe liken it to yoga or something like that. It's just you narrow the senses of your mind and you're able to concentrate and focus on one thing.
Absolutely.
Sharpen your skills. It's just a very therapeutic thing. A lot of people say that. Joe Rogan says that all the time.
Oh, yeah. Cam Hanes.
Cam Hanes. I couldn't agree with that more.
Yep.
Like, I'll come home from just a hard day of work. I'll go out back and just fling, a dozen arrows, and I feel completely different when I walk back inside.
Oh, yeah.
It is a very, very therapeutic thing. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I've talked a whole bunch already. So now
we got one more. What is your dream hunt?
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yes. What is your dream hunt?
My dream hunt has got to be a big old Yukon moose.
Yukon moose.
Something about them just really gets my blood pumping.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's funny because, being an Arizona native, growing up as a desert rat.
Yep.
I've never even seen a moose in person, and I think that definitely.
There's one right up there.
No, there it is. Yeah.
A moose and a goose. For those listening to the podcast, I've got a collage of my photography behind me. I go to Rocky Mountain National Park for a week or two every single year, and I've got actually that photo was used in the centennial celebration for Rocky Mountain National Park.
No kidding.
The National Park Service asked me if they could use it. It is a photo of a young bull moose fighting a Canadian goose. The goose won.
Hey, we didn't. I never said they were smart.
Yeah,
I just want to hunt them.
The goose won, and believe it or not, that goose. And that's one thing. I never realized how big those geese are.
Oh, yeah.
Because his wingspan was about the length of the body of that bull moose.
That's crazy.
I couldn't believe it.
That's insane.
So the goose won. The moose did put up a fight. He wasn't totally going to take it. It was interesting.
But yeah, that's definitely my dream hunt. Something about them. Obviously I certainly wouldn't consider myself a trophy hunter, but in all actuality and all being realistic, anybody who hunts wants a good animal.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just the fact of the matter. You can say all day long, oh, I'm just in it for the meat. And I can respect that. But at the same time, if you've got a big 8-point that comes walking up, or you got a little fork,
sure,
you're shooting the 8-point.
Sure. And that comes into the ethics, though, of it, too.
Absolutely.
I mean, it is a desire to have the bigger animal, but the bigger the animal, the older it is.
Exactly.
And we want to grow the population in a positive way, and by being able to take up the larger animals that are older, we're making way for more younger bulls, bucks, whatever, to come up and promote the population. The more of them that there are, the more offspring they're going to produce.
Absolutely.
The larger the population grows, and the more healthier the population is.
Yep.
So yeah, that's definitely a huge proponent, and that plays into the conservation aspect of the hunting, which is a great thing.
It's another thing that people don't really realize is that most hunters are conservationists by nature.
Oh yeah.
Because if there's no animals, there's no hunters.
Yeah. And have you seen all the stats and everything as to how much? So for those that don't know either, there's a tax that comes off of like every gun, every all the ammunition, everything. The amount, and I'll have to look and add it to the show notes, but the amount of like billions of dollars that come out, and that goes back into the industry and then pays the biologists. Like, Game and Fish hires all these biologists to go out and count the animals and to keep track, to check their habitats, look for disease, make sure everything's healthy. So it's like the hunting and fishing industry single-handedly supports the conservation effort almost, maybe not single-handedly, but almost supports it in totality, and make sure that these populations are promoted in a healthy way.
Oh, absolutely.
That way we are able to go out and enjoy them and be able to do this thing, have this privilege that, and no other country in the world has this system set up as far as the game and fish and the taxes and all that stuff. So our conservation system is completely unique in and of itself, which is amazing. I mean, I feel super privileged to be able to be here and be here at this time with such great prominent figures of the hunting industry, like Steve Rinella, Joe Rogan, Cam Haines. There's so many more to name, but to have all these people and to be able to look up to them and to be going into it is just a great era.
I agree.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and throw my intro out there. Okay. My story.
I was getting there, but then I had to go back.
No, you're good. Why I hunt. As a kid, I was born in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Most of my family resides in Auburn. We would always go back almost every summer and spend 2 weeks there, usually during the summers and sometimes in the fall, a couple times during the winter. My papa is, the hunter's hunter. He's the hunter of all he just lived that life. And being in Indiana, like you throw a stone and you're going to hit a deer. And so there's deer everywhere. That was just a big thing for him. He was definitely into the lifestyle. I remember many times going there and seeing a deer hanging in the tree. Yeah. And I'll throw in some pictures in the video and stuff and on social media that my grandma sent of him stringing some deer up. So it's a big deer too.
Nice.
But I always saw him and just thought it was interesting. I was never freaked out by it. I was never mortified by it.
Right.
It wasn't, and I was young too. I was probably still a single-digit aged kid. Okay. And it was something that interested me. Right. And it never came off weird or scary. It caught my attention in a good way. I remember him shooting his bow out back. I remember he had one of those, I think they're called a recurve compound. And so the limbs actually bend significantly. I'll have to show you one later. They're pretty cool. It was kind of, I think, part of the first technology into the compound bows and everything. So it was pretty sweet. I remember watching him just shoot it though, repetition every single time. Yep. And I mean, what young boy doesn't want to? He's like, heck, I want to do that. That's awesome. Kidding. Can I do that too? And so I just remember watching that, and I loved watching him do that, and would stand outside with him and just watch him shoot arrow after arrow. Fast forward about 1996-ish. I started joining the archery club that at the time Richie Sanderson and Ken Sloan had started. If you guys listen to episode 1, you'll see the interview that I do with Richie Sanderson of BCC Archery Pro Shop. He talks about his genesis into the whole industry, getting his pro shop, getting his archery club. He talks about hunting and all that stuff too, so that's his backstory. And then I come along in 1996, kind of meet up with him and get started in this club, get into archery, did it every single Sunday. That's where I learned my form, learned all that stuff was from Ken Sloan. Ken Sloan was a big mentor to me. I think he just really loved taking kids under his wing. He took me on my very first hunt. Nice. Yeah, and unfortunately, he passed away in, I want to say roughly about 2000, I believe is when it was. Okay. I put archery down for a while after he had passed away. I kind of did my own thing. It was a combination of him passing away. I kind of hit my rebellious years, you know, and I just walked away from the lifestyle, and I picked it back up again in August of 2017, and that was I think it was I had thought about getting into it. I really wanted to eat more healthy. I've always been into trying to eat healthier and stuff like that, and I realized, I'd heard a friend talking actually, who's a client of mine, talking about how much elk meat he had from a harvest that he got, and I was like, well, geez, like if I could shoot an elk, got a freezer full for a year, like, all right, cool, like let's do this. So I started just Googling archery stuff and YouTubing, found Cameron Haynes. His video, what is it, Time? I think.
Time, that was the first video you sent me.
I watched that, and it was like immediately that fire in me was just lit. Well,
Cam Haynes is just, he's by far one of the most inspirational people I've ever come across through the internet.
Oh, by far. Yeah. You know? Oh, absolutely. So I got my PSE Drive X, went and saw Richie. He got me all fitted out, spent the greater part of an afternoon with me, making sure I still had my exact same rhythm and everything. That muscle memory came back almost instantaneously that day. And during this whole period, from about 1996 to recent here, my papa, in the latter part of that time, developed Alzheimer's. He was on I want to say a destroyer in the Navy, and he was a boiler room mechanic. And so obviously being down there, there's, they got exposed a lot to asbestos and God knows what else. So that is a direct derivative to the Alzheimer's, contributed to the Alzheimer's. And now, unfortunately, he's also been diagnosed with lung cancer. And operation or being operable is not really an option. And so basically it's just a time thing. We're going to monitor it, let you guys know where everything's at with it. He still periodically calls me, and we'll just talk about hunting life. It is amazing. And he is in the forgetful stage. We had one of the first instances the other day where he couldn't remember his granddaughter, Jaden, the youngest one for those listening. He couldn't remember his youngest granddaughter, and he'll repeat himself every 5 to 6 minutes or so. Your grandfather, I believe, has dementia. Right?
I have one of my grandmothers has Alzheimer's.
So you understand that.
And my grandfather also has. I'm not entirely sure if he's been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. However, everything you're saying,
symptoms are.
I know he was diagnosed with dementia. And if it's not full blown Alzheimer's at this point, then it is very late stage. Dementia. Same exact stuff like you were saying though. He had no idea who I am, let alone my kids. But you can't fault him for it.
No,
you know what I mean.
And it's great too, because his favorite story, your dream hunt, is him telling me, boy, I never worked so hard in my life packing this moose out. He shot a moose in Canada. And he'll just tell me time and time again how hard he worked packing. It was only him and 3 other guys. So they hauled this moose out by themselves. And I think he said it was like 4 or 5 mile pack. And where can I get, Matt Lane says,
where can I get a shirt?
Sure, so we'll do a plug real quick, why not? We got these shirts for those that are interested. BowhuntingAZ, we have a white one with a state border logo. You can also see the vehicle decal here behind.
Here's the black one. I'll pose it.
We have a state flag logo as well, and then we have men's and women's shirts. There will be a full-blown online store soon. It's just taking me a little while. That'll be available, but for the meantime, if you guys just want to DM us, email us, whatever, you can get a hold of us and then make sure that you get your shirt taken care of. Jake from State Farm joined us.
Jake from State Farm, what are you wearing?
He better be wearing his BowhuntingAZ shirt that he
better be
bought.
wearing khakis. All I'm saying.
Oh yeah, the commercial. He'll repeat himself every 5 to 6 minutes, and he'll tell me about how hard that pack out was, and that's okay. I love hearing about it. I just love being able to talk to him. I really appreciate the ability to still have him around, regardless of health conditions and everything. So he'll give me those periodic calls, and one thing that he consistently has mentioned is how he was never able to bag an elk. You know, being in Indiana, there's not really any elk out there.
Right.
He'll be, boy, you know, I never really killed an elk before. I'd really like to get one. I'd at least like some elk steaks. And then he actually, on one conversation, goes, Steven, I want you to get me some elk steaks. And then I was like, man, like, you know, that for some reason, that just what he said set in so hard.
Yeah.
And now, just like when I watched the Cam Hanes video and felt that fire ignite, when he said that, I felt the fire ignite to kill an elk.
Absolutely.
I was like, man, it is on. Like, you know? And so I have this personal goal and a strong passion to bag an elk before he passes away and send him some meat, or take it to him myself. We'll be going out there, I think, next year, year after that. So, I'm on a beeline to get an elk and get him that meat.
Real quick, Jake from State Farm just commented here. My papa had Alzheimer's before he passed away too, and he was there when I got my first turkey.
Oh man, that's
awesome.
Amazing.
I mean, that's the thing is,
I would give anything to hunt with my papa.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, he's not healthy enough to be able to walk out there, but
good for you, man.
Yeah, man. That's congratulations on that, dude. That's so awesome. And I guess I feel that drive to get him that meat before he passes. Why I hunt? I hunt for him. I also hunt because the tradition and conservation needs to be passed down generation to generation.
Oh yeah.
There are statistics out there right now that show that hunting is in dire need of a continued presence in the new generation that is arising, and it's not there. And we're getting less and less hunters, which means, unfortunately, there's going to be less and less dollars contributed to the industry, and you know, so
more animals dying.
Exactly. The quality of life for them is going to be less if we don't have those biologists out there in the field taking care of them.
Absolutely.
And so it is more important than ever right now for us to educate, take under our wings as many people, boys or girls, you know, whoever, somebody's kid that needs time out, you know, just away. It is so important for us to be there right now, educating these kids on the importance of this industry, the benefits of it, you know, and it's just a good thing that we need to continue to spread. I feel that need.
Speaking of kids, you know, we've already brought up Cooper. So the other day, he told Kimberly that, you know, Dad's going to take me on my first rabbit hunt soon. And my wife looked at me and she said, "You are?" And I said, I guess
I'm just finding this out.
I guess I am now. And so I asked him, I said, "Buddy, you know, I got to make sure that you're mature enough to understand what that means, though." And he said, "Okay, what do you mean?" I said, "If you were to kill a rabbit, why? Why do you want to kill the rabbit? Do you just want to go out and shoot something? Or what is it that you want?" And he looked me dead in the eye, stone-faced, dead serious, and he goes, "Dad, I want to get a rabbit so I can come home and Mom can make food with it." And I said, "Okay, I'll take you on your first rabbit hunt."
Good enough, good enough.
But it's just an example of, like you said, we need to get our children involved.
Oh, absolutely.
And we need to get this next coming generation prepared, and they need to understand, like you said, the importance of conservationism, as well as how hunting is directly correlated.
Oh, absolutely. And with that all being said, I've got MR, for those of you who do know him, M.R. James is a phenomenal writer. He wrote Hunting the Dream, a memoir by M.R. James, Bowhunter magazine founder, member Archery Hall of Fame. This guy just has a way with words, let me tell you. Specifically to the point of where right before we even started the show, I didn't plan on reading this, and I looked in the book and saw this. And this is, to quote a chapter out of his book, it says, "I believe it is our duty to share an appreciation for and understanding of rutting deer and bugling bulls, of hunting dogs that lead us across weedy fields, of strutting springtime gobblers, drumming grouse, and the mournful nighttime cries of wild geese passing across moonless skies. Because without men and women willing to share their passion and knowledge, to answer the questions, and to show others the way, Entire generations may never know the music of whippoorwills and owls waiting to be heard in those quiet moments at dusk and first light when a nearby rustling and fallen leaves tells us we are not alone. Man, I think my favorite part of an entire hunting trip is just those few minutes right as the sun is about to peek over.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
It's quiet.
Everything gets dead silent.
Yep.
The birds might be chirping even a little bit beforehand sometimes. And I've noticed the same thing in the evening too. There's like a 20, 30 minute period where it's not dark yet. It's still dusk, light enough out to see. You can walk without aid or anything. And all the birds get dead silent. And it's just like those 2 parts of the day, mostly the morning because I'm a morning person. But that is just my favorite time of day.
It's just, for lack of a better word, it's magical.
It is.
It is.
It really is.
You're out there and you go, you know, this is what I was meant to witness.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And it makes you, at the same time, it makes you sad because you realize the disconnect that the rest of society has from this thing.
Oh, I had a disconnect from it for years.
Well, yeah, we all did.
We all do.
Obviously.
Yeah, we all do. And that's exactly what you said. You know, you sit there and
we think we're in the real world.
Yeah.
And we're not.
No.
And then you get out there and experience that and you realize, whoa. Like this is the real world.
You don't hear planes constantly. You don't hear the traffic. You don't get that ambient noise that is constant.
Yeah.
You know, I've never lived in a small town. I don't know if you have.
I did. I grew up in Black Canyon City. So.
That's right. That's right. So,
but I lived in Phoenix though for the first half of my childhood.
But but you've at least experienced a little bit of that small town where you know. There's not constant traffic. You're not constantly hearing the police sirens or the ambulance or the horns honking and so on and so forth, you know? And when you get out there and it is so quiet, not only is it awe-inspiring, practically, but it's an amazing time to just think.
It is. And that's what's so great about it too, man. If you got anything you need to reflect on.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to do it while you're out there.
Yeah, you are.
Especially those days you're sitting in a blind. Holy cow.
Or sitting in a watering hole.
You want to try and solve something? Go out in the woods and sit in a blind, and I guarantee you're going to come back with a solution.
Yeah, you might come back with a business plan.
You might, that too, yeah. Who knows what will happen. It'd be funny to start like a website of all the things that have occurred and happened in a hunting blind. And then survey that across everybody. Anybody who's listening right now who has ever hunted in a blind, please. Or just in general.
In general.
Yeah.
DM us something that you have been thinking about while you're hunting that ended up coming to fruition or you solved a problem. Anything. We want to hear these stories. My story is, I already told you guys, I was out hunting and I realized, holy crap.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is the solution to my problem. But, it could be as simple as, crap, man, I got this test coming up on Monday. I just can't figure out these vocabulary words or whatever. And all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, I know every single one of them.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. My dream hunt.
What is it?
Archery buffalo. Yeah.
That's a big animal.
That is a huge animal. First off, I just love buffalo meat.
Yeah.
My father-in-law does the buffalo jerky. He's Lakota Indian from Montana.
Okay.
And buffalo meat is so good. It is so good.
I find it weird though, because I'm always getting their wings and I've never seen them fly.
I know, right? What is up with that?
Oh, dad jokes. Sorry, everybody.
They're a beautiful creature. There is such a... Actually, you want to grab that book right there?
Which one?
That one.
Oh, the one that says American Buffalo.
Yes, sir. That one. This is a book you guys got to get. Wow.
Transparency?
Yes, full transparency. I have not read this yet. I have not read this fully. Okay. I have read this, what do you call it? Proofreading? Yeah.
Proofreading.
That's what I'm looking for. Thank you. I have proofread this. I am going on vacation soon, so I'll be taking this with me and I will be knocking it out probably in a day. But American Buffalo, this is by Steve Ranella, Meat Eater TV, Meat Eater Podcast.
Great.
Check him out.
Great hunter. Great.
Phenomenal show.
Yeah, great show, great podcast. Everything he does is just...
Rarely ever has to do with the kill shot. A lot of hunting TV is like, I'm sitting in a hunting blind, here comes the deer, 45 yards, bang, dead. Yeah, look at this buck, I got it. Like, man, that's not what hunting's about. Hunting is so much more than that. And if you want to see the real, true hunting experience, Steve Ranella is the guy that you need to watch. Netflix, Meat Eater, check it out.
He's got 2 seasons up right now.
2 seasons, yeah.
And
his podcast, Meat Eater, Meat Eater podcast. This guy, very, very articulate. I would say philosophical,
well-read.
Yeah.
Just, he's not that. So we're out here today. We're gonna go get us
his
a buck.
storytelling abilities too.
Oh yeah,
man, he can lay a story out.
There's a video that actually, one of his episodes that actually kind of correlates to us. Also, he does a goose deer hunt
in Arizona. Yeah. Oh, you read my mind.
And he doesn't even get anything on that hunt. The whole episode is him talking about his grandfather and telling stories and stuff, because what else are you going to do when you're out in the middle of the desert with a camera and you're not seeing anything? Right. You're going to tell stories.
And reflect.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But it's one of his best episodes, and I might be a little biased.
You want to hit that not now for me?
Yeah. I might be a little bit biased just based off of the fact that I'm, live in Arizona.
Yeah.
But it really is one of his best episodes, and like I said, he doesn't even get an animal in that episode. And he's okay with it. And as an audience member, I certainly am okay with it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Jake from State Farm says, experiences like those are times you will never forget, and it's nothing like anything you will ever experience in the cities. That's why kids need to get out and explore. I couldn't agree more, man. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. The last page, my favorite episode. So check out this book. It's all about buffalo and where they used to be. I mean, back in the 1500s, and how many millions there were, which is mind-blowing. Because to us, they almost seem like, they're not, but because you can hunt them, but almost they seem like almost an endangered species or something like that. They do. Well, something that we need to be concerned about, and they are. But to think that back in the day, man, they were everywhere. Millions.
Everywhere.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of history behind it.
Absolutely.
I would be more than honored. It is a once-in-a-lifetime tag.
Yep, you get one per lifetime.
One per lifetime, yep. So that's my dream hunt.
Absolutely.
My favorite thing about hunting is, like we've covered, and to beat a dead horse, just being out in nature. Yeah. Just being out there, enjoying it, seeing things that, man, I got a kick out of it. And I was telling my daughter the other day, I was describing watching a squirrel running up and down the trunk of a tree, and this little guy sitting there tapping the bark, listening for hollow points in the bark to dig out grubs. I was like, that was I don't know why. I was sitting in a blind, just like I said, when you got nothing,
you don't see it.
There's no action or anything.
Yeah.
You watch these little things that go on, and it was amusing. And but I mean, it was just an awesome experience, and just something so simplistic. And this little squirrel just brought me so much joy. Just to be able to watch and experience this thing. I'd never seen a squirrel do that before. Right. Usually we think they hide nuts and make a little den somewhere. Yeah. They hibernate for the winter, but here he is, tapping, he's smart enough to find the hollow points underneath bark, and he knows that noise when he hears it, and he'll rip that bark off and get him a grub. I asked for your guys' responses on Instagram to throw out why you hunt, and we have a couple people here. Millennial Hunter, great podcast as well, the Millennial Hunter podcast, a guy our age and our generation who is a hunter, and he said, just to put it simplistically, I hunt because I need to provide for my family, and doing it through hunting is the best and purest way to do it. I mean, proof. Yeah. It doesn't get any more organic as far as meat than, people pride themselves on buying grass-fed cows and all this, and antibiotic-free meat. Man, like, this is the most healthiest meat that you're ever going to have. Because it is just all natural. As
long as the animal's healthy.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree. I mean, you can't. It doesn't get any fresher. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, that's true.
I
look forward to that too.
Yeah.
After bagging my first elk, being able to hopefully, if the fire restrictions go away, have a campfire right then and there and cook some of that meat.
Absolutely.
Just put nothing on it and just taste it for what it is.
Pull a piece of that back strap off.
Man. I look so forward to that. But like we said, organic. I mean, factory farming is a huge thing, and a lot of people are against it, and as we should be. And it's just, this is one way to go out and procure our own meat. They said on average, a chicken breast or a slab of steak or whatever, on average will pass through 20 hands before it gets to you. Yeah. 20 sets of hands before it gets to your dinner plate. And to think of all the possibilities of diseases or just foodborne illnesses that can get introduced to that food. Obviously, we have a huge E. coli problem right now with our lettuce, but I mean, that has transitioned into other foods as well. To think of the possibilities that, of stuff that could have been introduced into that meat along the way, like, that's disgusting.
That's pretty gross. But I mean, if you think about it also, though,
I mean, we survive it a lot, but go ahead.
Well, to kind of bounce back real quick to your factory farming and all of that, there are a lot of people who are not for hunting. Just that's the facts. And we're not stating anything that other podcasts haven't already covered, but our spin on it, at least my spin on it, is anybody who's a vegan or a vegetarian, I mean, God bless them. I couldn't do it. There's no way I could do it. That's some serious willpower there.
Oh, absolutely.
But I got nothing against them. But then there are some who will say, "Well, you kill animals."
They'll chastise us.
Yes, I do. I do kill animals. Well, how could you do that? Because I feel like the method of going out there, putting the work in. I mean, how many calories do you think you're burning stalking down an animal?
Oh man!
But you're burning it. You're out there. You're putting blood, sweat, and tears, literally, into your food, and that is the best life that animal could have had.
Yeah.
Because you got a factory farmed cow or whatever. Yeah. They live in a 6x6 pen their entire lives. Yeah. They get so fat that even if that door got open, they couldn't go anywhere. And their whole life is spent in this little tiny bin. They eat, they crap, they sleep, and then they get a steel rod through the brain, and it's all over. At least with us as hunters, that deer or that elk didn't even know we existed.
No. Most of the times, if you watch a lot of hunting videos, they don't even know they're shot.
No.
There's been quite a few where the elk will put its head back down and start eating again.
And then all of a sudden, all of a sudden he's like,
tips over and it's dead. It's a matter of seconds.
Yeah. With a good shot.
Yeah, well, with a good shot.
And that's where practice and discipline comes into play.
That's our responsibility to ensure that we're giving the animal the honor of having that quick and simplistic death.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. MLC Outdoors also commented on our Instagram as well and said, "I hunt for many reasons. It's deeply fulfilling on an evolutionary scale. It's so deeply ingrained into my and everyone's genetics that words, at least my words, cannot begin to express the magnitude of it. I take a great pride in the fact that the healthy food that I bring home to my family has zero environmental impact." And that comes to our conservation efforts where they're calculating the herds and everything. In a time of my life that is full of work, children, and mind-numbing business, it provides me with the respite and adventure. It allows bonding with my children that is more valuable than anything else we've ever shared. It allows me to live in a way that keeps me close to my evolutionary past and close to nature. Finally, I need wild things in wild places. Seriously, without them, I would be a shell of a man. They constantly consume my thoughts, and next to my family, they are my driving force in life. While I enjoy many activities in the outdoors, hunting brings me closer to these things than anything else can. Boom. I don't know how else to put it better than that.
To comment on how he said it's a fundamental evolutionary trait that human beings have. We would not be alive if we didn't start hunting. We wouldn't be. That's just the facts. And there is certainly something primal about it that you will not experience anywhere else.
Oh, it's amazing how many, well, not how many, because you already have them all, but how much more awakened you realize your senses become when you go out and spend a full day hunting. And man, the other thing too is you know it because of how tired you are.
Yes.
And it's not always physically, because you could do a real short hunt and you will be dead drained by the time you get home. And you can tell it's a mental draining.
Yeah.
You're just mentally, you're just like, you're just I don't know how else to put it.
And I love it. And that's
mentally you're just flatlined almost.
And that's kind of what I was talking about at the beginning of this podcast with that heightened sense of awareness.
Oh yeah.
You don't get that.
No.
The only other place I've ever had those like you said, just that heightened awareness and your senses really going into overdrive was combat.
Yeah.
And it's just if you're not willing to go overseas or you don't want to, and I get that, trust me, getting shot at's no fun. But go hunting.
Yeah.
If you want one of the biggest thrills of your life, you want to sleep good at night, like you said, and just experience something that not everybody experiences and that you can say you did it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yep, absolutely, man. I couldn't agree more with you. So, and guys, if you, even though this episode has already touched the subject, if you want to continue to send in your reasons why you hunt, feel free to. Maybe we'll touch on it in another episode again, and we'd be happy to give you, your shout out and read your reason. I still want to hear your guys' story. Like, let us know. Jake from State Farm says, hunt because it takes more than just $10 in a drive-thru to get meat on a table. Also because hunters are the #1 financial supporters for wildlife preservation. Man, I couldn't agree more with you on that. That's right on the hit the nail right on the head.
There you go.
Why can't I talk? I need more coffee.
Don't we all?
Yeah, seriously. Man, I am just almost as big as I am into hunting. I am just equally as big into coffee. Let me tell you what.
You're just equally as big into mud.
Yeah, well,
that's what you drink, man.
Yeah, I hate it. You're gonna get me started on a tangent.
Oh, okay.
I hate it when I go to a coffee shop and the baristas always tell me they are insistent that I have cream in my coffee, and it is the devil. Like, get that cream out of my coffee. That is disgusting. I don't know why I have such a problem with it, but I hate it.
But it's good that you recognize it's a problem, though, because the first part to fixing this is accepting that it is a problem.
I hate cream in my coffee, man.
See, I can't. I've tried the black thing. I was going super strict on diet and everything for probably about 6 months there for a while. And every day I was going just barely over on my carbs. Yeah. And I realized if I cut out creamer, I would be right on the money with all my macros. Okay. I took out creamer. I did it for about 2 weeks. And I realized that I absolutely hate black coffee. Do you? I didn't like it. Yeah. And I certainly don't go anywhere near as heavy as I used to on it now. Just because after that 2 weeks, I went back to putting it as heavy into my coffee as I always did. And it was like, I'm drinking creamer with a hint of coffee now. Yeah. That's how my wife is. Yeah. She'll literally, we went to a farmer's market once and the guy was like, glug, 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 with the jug of creamer. Oh my gosh. And he's like, glug, 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 glug. And I was like, you're going to put any coffee in there? That's funny. Yes, Jake from State Farm says black coffee for the win. And I bet that's because he's a mechanic. I got on black coffee because I was a breakfast cook and the coffee was ready, every single morning. Yeah. And it was just, at that time I didn't like the taste of coffee yet. So I would just pour it, chug it, and after a while, I just acquired the taste for it. Yeah. But it's definitely an acquired, well, not to everybody, but I feel like I feel like I could acquire a taste for it if I had to. It's gotten better, and like I said, the way I am with coffee is how some people are with wine. Now that I've branched out and I'm exploring a little bit more, when you get into all these different roasts, and I'm going to a place, I wish I could remember that guy's name on Instagram. I don't want to shut off my live feed, but there's a guy in Colorado, in Grand Junction. I'll tag him in something here shortly. He does barrel-aged coffee. And he puts the coffee in whiskey barrels. So barrels that were done with like whiskeys and bourbons to cure it and everything. He puts the coffee beans in there after
he's done, after the whiskey has already been done and run through that process. So now you're putting these smoky bourbon flavors into the coffee beans. And obviously the coffee doesn't have an alcohol content.
Right.
You're cooking it out.
Right.
But it's just like, man, I want to try that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. And I mean, just all these other things too. I mean, you've got some that have like chocolate cream flavors. There's a peppermint one. I'm a peppermint freak. So yeah, so that's my tangent on coffee. I'll stop with that before I bore you guys anymore. But yeah, so go ahead and send us those Instagram responses still on why you hunt. We'd love to do that. I need to get out. I didn't know how to. Jay Scott was going to try and join us today.
Oh, really?
Live. I don't know how to do it. I'm afraid I'd goof up the podcast. But
okay.
I'm going to try and get him on one of these podcasts here.
Definitely.
Would love to talk to him. And we'll be doing a podcast as well from Colorado. Hopefully. I'll be doing it somewhere. I've got one guy I really want to interview. He runs that ranch that I really want you to go to.
Okay.
Wind River Ranch. Wind River Ranch, guys, if you can support this place, if you want to look for a good charity to be able to support or somebody to give, donate money to or just donate anything to, they hire staff there seasonally.
Yep.
This ranch I believe works with the Wounded Warrior Project. I'm not sure if it's only them, but they work with veterans that are active combat veterans that are returning back to society and trying to integrate back into society on just a regular daily life. And I mean, man, there is no place like this ranch. A great ministry, works with the veterans, horseback rides. I mean, you're in the smack dab in the middle of the Rocky Mountains. Like, talk about a beautiful setting, but a place like how we said with hunting. A
place where you can reflect.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, man. And you are 100% disconnected. Like, forget about having a cell phone service or computers. Like, I mean, I'm sure they have Wi-Fi there, actually.
Yeah.
But in general, you're not going to be on your phone. You're not going to be doing anything digital. They feed you to death. So if you guys know anyone that needs something like that, if they're coming back from tour or anything like that, and you can reach out to these folks and give them just a reference or something, have them check out Wind River Ranch in Estes Park, Colorado. Just a phenomenal place, man. They do such great work, and it's a beautiful setting too. So
definitely.
Well, anything else to cover? I think that's pretty much it.
I'm extremely excited to become a permanent part of this company.
Yeah, I'm excited to have
brand.
Fun, it's hard talking about myself sometimes.
Yeah, well, knowing
I've only done it one last
knowing
episode,
I can't imagine it's that hard.
Yeah, it's easier. Well, thanks. It's easier to jive with somebody and have you here,
Definitely.
and we can can feed off of each other.
I will be a part of many more podcasts to come.
Yeah.
Whether it's in person, hopefully in person for obviously the majority of them, but like your Colorado one, hopefully we can get something going on where I either live stream in or just put me on speakerphone next to a microphone. Something. I'm excited, man. I think we're doing. This is going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. For one.
Absolutely.
And
it is a blast.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And my ultimate goal for any of this is just to inspire more people to pick up a bow, man.
Yeah.
Pick up a bow or get out in the outdoors.
Yeah. Crap, is that today? Or is it June 1st? There is a day coming up here shortly. I'll put it in the show notes. I dropped my pen already. But there is a free day of fishing. Game and Fish has eliminated the legal requirement for a license. So if you guys want to go out and go fishing, take friends, family, make a huge event out of it. Be smart though, because there are fire restrictions. Don't smoke, don't start a fire, no flames or any open stuff like that. But it's a free day of fishing. Take the family out. If you haven't touched base with nature or the wilderness in a while, please make time to get out there for the day and just do this with your family. It is so important. I mean, if you've been thinking, oh, gee, I've been working so much lately, I really wish I had some family. This is it.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity where it is, other than some fishing poles, which if you don't have any, you can probably borrow some. It's going to cost you nothing. And all you got to do is go out and just cast your line in a lake or a river somewhere and go fishing.
Definitely.
And so, and no license required. I mean, heck, you can take it home and eat it if you want to afterwards. Make sure you don't catch an illegal species, though. So just go out and have fun. Spend time with it, even if it's by yourself. Just go out and do it. I can't suggest enough.
Instagram's about to give us the boot, it looks like.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got 52 seconds. That means we were almost on an hour.
Yeah.
That's all right. We'll restart the live stream here on Instagram, just in case.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey guys, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. We look forward to seeing everybody and more.
Mm-hmm. Please, if you guys see us out and about, whether it's our vehicle decals or our shirts or whatever that we're wearing, stop us and say hello. We'd love to talk to you. We'd love to hear your story, and
definitely.
And make sure to just say hi. We would love to take the time for each and every one of you guys that see us out and about, just to meet you and put a face to a name and a name to a face, vice versa.
Yep.
Let us know if you're, hey, I'm that Instagram guy that said blah blah blah. Because we want to go beyond just the digital barrier with people that are following us, interacting with us. And I'm going to redo Instagram here real quick.
Okay. Hang on just a second, everybody.
Yeah.
Instagram kicked us off.
There we go. Cool. And Millennial Hunter had just joined us, actually.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he missed the part where we read his read his spiel. Yeah, we'll need to have him on here, too.
Definitely.
So yeah, make sure to check out these books. American Buffalo, if you're interested in that, by Steve Rinella. The Hunting Dream by M.R. James is another great one. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, grab me that book right there real quick. Whispers? Yes, Whispers in the book. This is my idol. One of my idols. I've actually got two up there. James Frank is one. He's a photographer in Rocky Mountain National Park. Super personable guy. And he's taken a lot of time to talk to me and answer my questions that I have about photography and whatnot. And then there's this guy as well, who's Eric Stensland. He is kind of the unofficial, official Rocky Mountain National Park photographer. This is his journal, basically, it's called Whispers in the Wilderness by Eric Stensland. I'll show it right there to everybody on social media, just so you guys can see. Whispers in the Wilderness. So this is his personal journal that he documents all of his mornings and nights and walks that he does inside Rocky Mountain National Park. He puts his photography in here of each of his photos that he took on that trip. But I mean, man, if you want to see, he's not a hunter or anything that I'm aware of, but if you want to see into the mind of somebody, of what goes through the mind of somebody, I guess is what I want to say, while they're out experiencing this. And he's got stories like, he's been like 10 feet away from a bull moose that he walked up on accident. Because you're not allowed to camp overnight in Rocky Mountain National Park unless you have a permit. Right. It's a lottery system. Some years he won't get that permit. And so he has to hoof it back without sleeping. And there's been times that he's walked up on like 2 mountain lions, a bull moose. Like, yeah, he's got some cool experiences. But this is his personal journal, though, of just what goes through his mind, what he thinks, what he feels, his reflections, you name it. This is everything that he's ever pretty much contemplated and written down. So check it out. You can order it on his website. I'll put that in the show notes as well. I'm trying to think. It's www.morninglight.us. So check it out. That's a pretty cool book as well, if you just want to kind of get some insight there. Thank you again for joining us. Make sure to subscribe, please. It helps us out a lot. And interact with us on social media, Instagram, Facebook. You can follow us at BowhuntingAZ. YouTube is coming along as well. We're putting some of the videos, doing some different trailers and stuff like that. We'll probably try and video some of the 3D shoots that we're involved in. I'm trying to, let's see, what do I want to say here? I'm trying to get some of the people that I know locally for the archery shops to do some 3D shoots, because they're shutting down so many of the forests. If you're not if you're not from Arizona, we are in a very, very bad drought. Yeah. Like, it is a terrible year. This past winter was just ungodly dry.
I mean, it was dry, hot. It was hot, it wasn't even a winter.
Yeah, water is just I mean, man, dude, I was so bummed when I went up to that watering hole and it was just bone dry. Like, my heart sunk. And that was, like, supposed to be this watering hole that all the outfitters go to and stuff. And you could tell because the elk carcasses were everywhere.
Yeah.
And it was like, that's a popular water. And it was, I mean, the dirt wasn't even damp.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, and my heart sunk. More so not because I was out of luck, but it was like, man, like the ecosystem just got affected by this.
Oh, yeah.
And so...
rumor has it we're going to get a good monsoon.
I hope so.
I'm not believing it until I see it.
Yeah,
but that's the word on the street.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed on that and just praying that it'll be a good monsoon season. But so because of all that drought, we have these forest closures that have been taking place. So I'm going to try and push the people that I can to maybe do some 3D shoots. More local, because a lot of them take place out in the forests and stuff, and I'm going to try and get something put together hopefully over the summer, so we're not just being stagnant all summer and not doing I guess simulation shooting basically is what you want to say. And I can only shoot a target. I can shoot a target a lot, but I can only shoot it. I can only shoot it so much, and I'm like, man, I need to go out and shoot like a scenario or something. Yeah. I need to just switch it up a little bit. Subscribe, leave us a 5-star review, and write something below it, please. That would be a huge help. You can go on iTunes, Stitcher. Boy, I'm trying to think of where are we all on it. Just type in Bowhunting.
If you go to a social media and you type in
we're there.
BowhuntingAZ, you'll find us.
Thank you. I need more coffee.
Also, well, I had a thought.
Did you?
And it's gone now.
I thought I saw it walk right over there.
Did it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Yeah, don't forget shirts, guys, please. If you want to check one out, you can go to the website and social media. The store will be up soon, I promise. I keep saying that. It's going to be up soon. This is the state border logo that why am I holding this?
I don't know.
I should open that up. So we have an archer shooting a compound bow for those that are listening to the podcast, and the bow is inlaid with the state flag colors. He is pulling back the bow, about ready to loose an arrow, and there's a border of the state of Arizona around him, and it says BowhuntingAZ on it. It's not just to support our brand. I mean, it's a lifestyle. We're a group of people, like-minded people, so we just want to be able to know when we're out and about, you know, you'll be seeing us wearing these. We would like to see you wearing them so that we can recognize you in public. And we'll be like, hey, so what do you think about that BowhuntingAZ podcast? And we just like to say hi. Well,
I tracked down my thought, and I caught up to it. I found it.
Did you hunt it down?
No.
Oh, you see what I did there?
That's not what you did there. If you're just now joining us, thank you very much for tuning in.
Hold that thought. You got it? You're not going to lose it.
Got it.
Okay. Mitch Doherty. I hope I'm saying that right.
Doherty?
Doherty. He's a fellow drone pilot.
Okay.
I met him through a drone group that we're in, and he did a killer promo video. He actually just did it for fun. He went on a fishing trip, I believe, in Alaska, or it might have been Canadiana.
Okay.
And
one of those places.
Yeah, one of their places. And he did it just for fun. Did some drone, time lapse, all that stuff.
Yeah.
They hit him up and said, "Hey, dude, like we really like that. We'll comp you and pay you to come back out here.
No
and
kidding.
Do a full video for a trip and everything like that."
Well, congratulations.
Way to do it, dude. That some of the footage that you had in there was really inspirational, and I drew a lot from it, more than just the entire video itself. It meant something to me, so that I was inspired to go out and do more of it myself.
That's awesome.
Give me that thought.
Okay. So if you're just now tuning in again, thank you. I think we're just about wrapping this up.
Just about done.
So if whatever you missed, if you'd like to go back, it will be posted up to YouTube.
That's right.
So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, as all the podcasts and really anything that we do will also be posted there.
Yep.
Really, guys, just thank you for watching, and Steven, thank you for bringing me on board.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to get this thing.
Other way, man.
I'm excited to get this thing rolling.
If you want to go back and check out episodes 1 and 2, episode 1 is the BCC Archery Pro Shop with Richie Sanderson. He goes and describes how he started the pro shop, how he mentors kids who, frankly, don't always have parents around and stuff. Talks about his hunting experiences. Episode 2 is 5 essential pieces of gear for hunting. I'm going to dive further in later to more pieces of equipment that are super valuable to me. For this one, I think I covered water. I got binos, these Vortex binos, my buck knife. I'm trying to think, what else did I, darn it. Water and a couple other things. So yeah, more coffee.
Lots of water.
More coffee, man. I need more coffee.
Let's wrap it up.
So let's wrap it up. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. God bless you. Have a great rest of your afternoon, evening, morning, weekend, whatever. It's Memorial Day here.
It is.
So we're going to celebrate that come Monday. And we're going to have a barbecue. These burgers, dude, I'm so excited. I got my wife the Joanna Gaines cookbook for Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And she made these burgers are fat. These
nice.
So we're going to eat those.
Let's do it.
We're going to chow down. So thank you again, guys. Make sure that you leave us comments and stuff on social media. Follow, subscribe, 5-star review. That's it. I'm done talking. I'm going to go get some coffee. Have a good day, everybody. Talk to you later.
Have a good night, y'all.
See you.